51D, mute your microphone. 51D. Everyone mute your microphones.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, one and all. Is my screen visible? Shall I start the class? excuse me. Okay. In the previous class, we have seen how to perform addition and subtraction and what are the hardware components required to perform the addition and subtraction, right? And I told you that any unsigned number can be represented in three ways: signed magnitude representation, ones complement representation, and twos complemented representation. And here we will see how to perform the addition and subtraction on signed magnitude data as well as on signed ones complemented data, right? So you know how, you know that if the in case of signed magnitude representation, if the MSB bit is 1, it represents a negative number. If it is 0, it represents a positive number. That means in case of signed magnitude representation, you need to specify, one second. In case of signed magnitude representation, you need to specify the sign bit of the number explicitly, right? So a 1-bit flip-flop we are using to store the sign of a number. But in case of addition, signed ones complement and twos complement representation, you don't specify the sign of the number explicitly. No register, no flip-flop will be used to store the sign of the number. That sign will be included in the number itself. We have already seen one example how to represent a decimal number in signed magnitude representation, ones complemented representation, and signed twos complemented representation, right? Now we'll see the flowchart of the addition and subtraction. This is the table which represents the addition of different combinations to perform addition and subtraction operation for signed magnitude data. When you are performing the addition operation, if the sign of the magnitudes is same, what will be the result? If the sign of the magnitude is different, what will be the result? In the same way, for subtraction also we have seen different rules, right? In today's class, we will see what is the flowchart to perform this addition and subtraction, right? So here, this is the flowchart which performs addition and subtraction. And here what happens is, this is for addition operation, this is for subtraction operation. First we'll see the addition operation. Here I am performing the addition on the two registers A and B. So augend I am storing in the register A and addend I am storing in register B, right? So here we are using the signed magnitude data, therefore you should know the sign of the result. That depends on the sign of this augend as well as addend, right? So when you perform the XOR operation, you know the truth table for XOR operation, right? This is the truth table of XOR operation. If the input is 0 and 0 and 1 and 1, in those two cases, the XOR result output will be 0. For 0, 0 and for 1, 1, the output is 0. For 0, 1 and for 1, 0, the output is 1. This is the truth table for XOR operation, right? Now, if you remember this table, addition table, in case of addition, whenever I am performing the addition, if the sign of the magnitudes, if the sign of the two numbers A and B is same, here on AS and BS, if you are performing the XOR operation, if you get a result as 0, you got the result as 0, which means that what does it mean? The output of XOR operation is 0, means the input can be either 0, 0 or 1, 1. That means sign of the two numbers is same. If the sign of the two numbers is same, then XOR operation results is 0. What we have to do in addition operation, go to this table. In this table, when you are performing the addition operation, in the first 4 cases, whenever the sign of the two numbers is same, if it is plus plus or minus minus, what we are doing? We are simply adding the magnitudes A and B we are performing, right? So whenever the sign of the two numbers whenever the sign of the two numbers is same, then you have to perform addition operation. A and B are to be added, and we are storing the result into A. Here, this A register is acting like an accumulator too. So we are storing the result in EA flip-flop. Why EA? Because when you are performing the addition operation, there is a possibility to get the extra bit. That extra bit we are storing in E flip-flop. Final result we are storing in EA. And if there is any overflow bit, that overflow is stored in AVF flip-flop, added overflow flip-flop. First, the addition result, the result of A plus B will be stored in A, and here in this, if any overflow bit is there, that overflow bit will be moved to AVF, and the process will be ended. Addition will be stopped, and where you are storing the result, you are using this A as an accumulator too. So you are storing the result in A and S. AS. Why? Because here you need to specify the sign also. So sign will be sign of the result will be specified in AS, and the magnitude of the result will be there in A. This is for addition operation. It is very simple. If the sign of the two numbers is same, then you can simply perform the addition operation. Extra bit will be stored in E, overflow bit will be stored in AVF flip-flop. Now coming to this second case. Here the XOR of AS and BS is equal to 1. When this XOR operation will be 1, the output of XOR operation is 1. Whenever the input is 0, 1 or 1, 0, that means if the sign of the two numbers is different, when you are performing this addition operation, at the time of this addition operation, if the sign of the two numbers is different, what you have to do? You need to perform the subtraction operation. You need to perform the subtraction operation. So if the result of XOR is 1, then perform this subtraction operation. You know how to perform the subtraction operation. You don't perform this subtraction operation in our digital computer directly by using A minus B. Always the subtraction is performed using 2's complemented form. Therefore, subtraction of A and B is done by using the 2's complement, A plus B complement plus 1. And the result you are storing back in EA register. Here AVF is 0. Why AVF is 0? Why? Because at the time of addition, there is a chance to get the overflow. What exactly overflow we'll see later. So we may get overflow values for addition, but for subtraction, you don't get any overflow. Therefore, AVF flip-flop will be set to 0 for subtraction operation. Next, what you have to do is, here when you are performing the subtraction operation, thus you need to mention the sign of the data. If it is a positive, if you are performing the addition operation, obviously the sign will be positive only. You'll get only positive sign. But when you are performing the subtraction operation, the sign may be different based on the values of A and B. If A is greater than B, the sign will be 1. It can be either plus or minus. If it is less than or equal to B, the sign will be different. That you need to check. And that will be checked by using the value of E. By using the value of E, you can compare A and B. If A equal to 1, it means A is greater than or equivalent to B. A is greater than or equivalent to B. What it means? What? You can simply perform A minus B. And what will be the result? The result will be the sign of A only. You just go to this table. Here, when you are performing the subtraction operation, if A is greater than B, then what you are performing? You are performing simply A minus B. And what is the resultant sign? Sign of the resultant is equal to sign of A plus, and here it is sign of A minus, sign of A and sign of A. So that will be checked by using the value of E. If E equal to 1, it can be A greater than or equal to B. Whether it is greater than B or equal to B, that will be checked on by using the value of A. If A equal to 0, it means A is greater than B. If A equal to, if A equal to 0, it means that A is equivalent to B. If A and B are equal, when you perform a subtraction operation between A and B, the result is 0 only. The result is 0. If for 0, you don't have any negative symbol. For 0, you always have a positive symbol. That is the reason you have set this AS value to 0. Sign bit value is set to 0, means it represents a positive number. Is it clear? Next, if A is not equal to 0, it means that A is greater than B. A is greater than means what? You may get a positive value. So positive or negative value, that value we are storing in AS. Next, here, if E equal to 1, either A will be greater than B or A is equal to B. Now, if E equal to 0, then A is less than B. A is less than B. And when A is less than B, and if you want to perform the subtraction operation, when you are performing the subtraction operation, whenever A is less than B, the sign of the resultant will be the sign of A. Here, sign of A is what? A is less than B means sign of A is negative. A is less than B means sign of A is negative. And we always represent the negative numbers in positive numbers using 2's complemented notation. That is the reason you are going to represent A as a 2's complemented form. So first you are converting A into A complement, and after that, that complemented value we are storing back in A only. To that, if you add a 1, what will happen? A complement plus 1, which will be your 2's complemented number. Right? So whenever A is less than B, it indicates that sign of A is negative. So, and if you want to represent this negative number, you always need to use the 2's complemented notation. 2's complemented value is always equivalent to complement plus 1. A complement for A complement plus 1 is the 2's complement notation of A. So, A complement plus 1, and you need to change the result of the sign of the resultant is what? Complemented sign of A. Here, when A is less than B, always the sign of the result is complemented sign of A. Here, sign of A is plus, the resultant sign is minus. Similarly, here, when A is less than B, resultant sign is complemented sign of A. That is the reason you need to complement the sign bit value. That is, AS is to be complemented, and after that you can store the resultant value in A and AS, that is in your accumulator. So this is the way to perform addition and subtraction operation. So one more time I am revising. Whenever you want to perform addition and subtraction value, first you need to check the sign of the numbers. In case of, if the XOR operation on the sign bit value is 0, it represents that sign of the two numbers is same. And in under addition operation, if the sign of the two numbers is same, you simply perform the add operation on AUGAND as well as addend. And the result will be stored in EA. If there is any overflow bit, that will be stored in AVF. Now, if the sign of the two numbers is different, if the sign of the two numbers is different, then XOR of AS and BS will be 1. Then you have to perform the subtraction operation. A minus B is to be performed. And A minus B is always performed using the 2's complemented notation. A plus B complement plus 1. And for subtraction, you don't get any overflow value. Therefore, AVF flip-flop is set to 0. Now, you need to check whether in the table, whenever performing this subtraction operation, you need to check the magnitudes of A and B. What is the condition between A and B, whether it is greater than, less than, or equal to. That condition is checked by using the E bit value. By using this E bit value, we will say whether A is greater than B, less than B, or equal to B. If E equal to 1, then A can be greater than or equivalent to B. And if A equal to 0, then it indicates that A is equal to B. If A is equal to B, the result is always 0, A minus B. If A and B both are equal, and if you perform a subtraction operation, the result is always 0. For 0, you have only positive number. So set AS value to 0. Next, if A value is not equal to 0, it indicates that A is greater than B. A is greater than B means it is always a positive number. Now, if E equal to 0, then A is less than B. Whenever A is less than B, you need to change the sign of the result. The sign of the result is to be changed. So, AS is changed to AS complement, and you need to perform the subtraction operation. Always the subtraction is done by using the complemented form. The subtraction is done using the complement. Here, A is less than B means what? Only A can be subtracted from B. You cannot subtract B from A. A is to be subtracted. Whichever the number is to be subtracted, you need to find out the 2's complement for that number. 2's complement for that number is to be find out, because you are doing subtraction using 2's complement. What is the 2's complement of A? A complement plus 1. Clear? And we are storing the result at the end in A and AS. This is your addition operation for signed magnitude data. Next, addition and subtraction operation for 2's complemented data. Here, what are the main hardware components required for 2's complemented data? You require a register B, and one more register is AC. What is this AC? This AC is your accumulator. It is equivalent to your A register. AC is equivalent to your A register. If I am performing A plus B or A minus B, one data will be stored in A register, another data addend will be stored in A register, again will be stored in B register. So, and I am using this A as an accumulator. Why? Because I am performing A equal to A plus B or A equal to A minus B. Whatever the operation you are performing, you are storing the result in A. So, you can call the register A as an accumulator. Therefore, 2 registers required are B register as well as the accumulator. And this accumulators data is given to complementer as well as the parallel adder. Why complementer? Why? Because you are performing the subtraction with 2's complement. For that, you require a complementer, and you need to perform the addition operation. For that, you require a parallel adder. So, complementer and parallel adder will get 2 inputs, one from AC register, one from B register. And what is to be performed? In case of addition operation, once the parallel adder gets the 2 inputs, then AC plus B is performed. If any overflow bit is there, that will be stored in V. Here you're not using this E flip-flop. E is not used. And at the same time, AS and BS are not used in this case. Why? Because here you are not specifying the sign of the numbers explicitly. The sign will be included in A register as well as in the B register. In the number itself, you are including the sign. Therefore, you don't need any flip-flop for storing the sign numbers explicitly. When you see the flow chart for performing the addition operation, you will be having the data in AC as well as in B. Again will be there in AC, addend will be there in B. And these 2 inputs will be provided to this parallel adder, and this is responsible to perform AC plus B. If any overflow is there, that will be stored in V flip-flop, and the process will be. Similarly, for subtraction also, you can do with 2's complement, AC plus B complement plus 1. If there is any overflow, we can store it in your V flip-flop. So with this, addition and subtraction will be done. Next, next arithmetic operation is multiplication operation. Multiplication arithmetic operation. When you see this example, how to perform the multiplication of 23 and 19 in binary form. how to perform multiplication of 23 and 19 in binary form. Let this 23 is your multiplicand, 19 is your multiplier. How you will perform? If the value of the multiplier is 1, 1 into 1 is 1. 1. This 1 is to be multiplied with multiplicand. Therefore, you will get the same multiplicand value. 1, 0, 1 you will get. Second one is also 1. So, multiply this multiplicand with 1. You will get the same multiplicand. And while writing this partial results, these are all known as partial results. All these partial products are to be added to get the final product. You need to add the partial products to get the final product. While writing these partial products, you are performing a shift left operation. For the second multiplier bit, where you are writing the partial bit by leaving one bit. By moving to the left shift, you are writing the partial product. Similarly, if the bit of multiplier is 0, you will simply write zeros. Whatever may be the value of multiplicand, you will simply write 0 by moving one bit left shift. At the end, what you are doing? You are simply performing an addition operation. This is the way to perform multiplication. But in computers, this process, there is a slight change in this process when you perform the multiplication operation in our computer system. First step is, here what you need to do is, you need different registers. If the multiplier size is here, it is 5. How many partial products you are getting? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 partial products you are getting. So all these partial products needs to be stored temporarily. So you require temporary registers to store all these partial products. Right? And after that, you perform addition operation. Then you can erase the data in the temporary register. But which is a wastage of memory space. That is the reason what we are doing is, instead of providing number of registers to store all the partial products, you will use only 2 numbers at a time. Something like, first I'll generate only 2 partial products. Here all the partial products were generated at the same time, then only you are performing the addition operation. But what we are doing in our computer system is, only 2 partial products were generated. After that, you will perform an addition operation. In addition, sum will be performed, and these temporary values can be removed from the temporary register. Next, third partial product is generated. That will be added to the previous sum. That sum will be updated. So whenever fourth partial product is added, that will be added to the previous sum, and the previous sum will be updated. That is the first change. So instead of having the registers to store all the partial products, at a time you will generate only 2 partial products, and the 2 partial products are added, and the result will be stored in a temporary register. Whenever a third partial product is generated, that should be added to the previous sum. That is the first change. Second change is, here while writing the partial products, you are moving one bit to the left side. In case of computer system, you will move to the partial product is moved to the right side. We'll see the example. You just see what are the steps to be followed, what are the steps to be changed. Second step is, move to the right side. Next, third one is, here whenever the multiplier bit is 0, if you multiply this 0 with the content of multiplicand, whatever it is, you always get 0. If you add a 0 to any value, it won't get changed. The sum won't get changed. Therefore, it is unnecessary to write these 0 values, to write partial product for 0 bit. That is the reason whenever the multiplier value is 0, you will not add any 0 to the partial product. That means you will just skip that bit of multiplier if it is a 0. So these are the 3 steps, 3 different changes in the multiplication operation. And this multiplication is also done with it is also done using two methods. First method is by handling the sign bits separately, that is multiplication for signed magnitude data. And if the signed bit are not handled separately, you will call it as signed twos complemented. So you will see how to perform multiplication on signed magnitude data as well as multiplication on signed twos complemented data. And if the multiplication is performed on signed twos complemented data, it is known as a Booth's algorithm. We'll call it as Booth's algorithm. First, we'll see signed multiplication on signed magnitude data. Let us see what are the hardware components required. In signed magnitude data, you need to specify the sign bit. So I am storing my multiplicand in the register B. Multiplier I am storing in the register Q, and the result I am storing in A. Right? Next, you are using a sequence counter. This sequence counter is required to know how many partial products are to be generated or till how much time you need to perform the multiplication. The sequence counter value is equivalent to the number of bits in the multiplier. So whenever the first bit of the multiplier is multiplied with the multiplicand, that means whenever the first partial product is generated, next sequence counter is decremented by 1. Like that, for all the bits of the multiplier, sequence counter will be decremented. Whenever the sequence counter becomes 0, then you can stop the multiplication process. That means there are no bits in the multiplier. That is the reason we are using this sequence counter. So these are the main hardware components required. Two registers to hold multiplier and its sign, multiplicand and its sign. One register to hold the product, that is the result and its sign. One flip-flop is used to hold the extra bit value, and all the partial products are to be added. So you need a adder. Sequence counter is to know when to stop the multiplication process. See, this is the algorithm. Let us first we'll see the flowchart. After that we'll see the example. Here I am taking two registers B and Q. In B I am storing the multiplicand. Multiplicand is the first number. In Q register I am storing the multiplier. That means with which number you are multiplying. That is your multiplier. Next, as you are using these signs explicitly, we should know the sign of the resultant. How to know the sign of the resultant? When you are performing the product or the multiplication, if the sign of the two numbers is same, then the sign is positive. That means plus into plus is plus. Minus into minus is always plus. Similarly, if the sign of the two numbers is different, then the sign will be minus. Plus into minus, minus. Minus into plus, minus. So that is to be known based on QS and BS. So apply an XOR operation on the sign values of multiplicand and multiplier. That will be stored in your AS and QS, because at the end you are storing your result. The final result you are storing in AQ. The final result is stored in the registers AQ. And initially A is set to 0. What is your A? Your A is your accumulator. Initially the value of A is set to 0. E is also set to 0 because you haven't started your multiplication process. Therefore there is no result in A and there is no extra flip-flop, and the sequence counter is equal to n. Here it is n ma. So sequence counter is n, which is equal to the number of bits in multiplier. Clear? Now, 1 second. First, check the condition Qn. Qn means the last bit. The last bit in the sense rightmost bit, or you can say LSB bit of multiplier. If Qn equal to 1, then simply perform A plus B. Simply perform A plus B and store the result in AE. That means to this A, add the content of multiplicand if qn equal to 1. Qn equal to 1 means what, ma? Why we are, can anyone tell me why I am considering qn here? Why not q1, why not q2 or any of the multiplier bits? Why we are considering qn? Why we are considering qn? Any answers? When you see this example, where you always start the multiplication by considering the last bit of your multiplier, which is your qn. You always start, you may have n number of bits in the multiplier, but always start the multiplication process from the rightmost bit. First this one is to be multiplied, then only you can move on to the next bit, that is the left bit. That is the reason you are checking the value of qn. If it is 1, if it is 1 means what? The same multiplicand will be copied. The same multiplicand value will be copied and it will be added to the previous sum. Previous sum, where you are storing the previous sum? We are storing the previous sum in A, and the same multiplicand you are copying. Where the multiplicand is present? Multiplicand is present in B. So this multiplicand, that is this partial product, is to be added to the previous product and the updated value is to be stored in EA. Clear? After that, perform shift right operation on EAQ and decrement the sequence counter. Decrement the sequence counter. That means for 1 bit of multiplier, the partial product has been generated. Similarly, if it is 0, if the qn bit is 0, what does it mean? You don't copy the multiplicand. The multiplicand value will be 0 only. Therefore, no need to perform the addition operation. No need to perform, no need to write zeros and no need to perform addition with zeros. Why? Because there is any no change in addition. So you can skip this addition step whenever qn equal to 1, and after that you can perform shift right operation. This process has to be continued until the sequence counter becomes 0. If the sequence counter is not equal to 0, you need to repeat the same process. If it is 0, you can stop the procedure and the final result will be there in AQ register. Clear? Let us see the example. The multiplicand is your B, which contains 10311. Your multiplicand is 10311 and your multiplier is Q, which is equal to 10011. 10011. Initially A is equal to 0. So A is equal to zeros and E is also equal to 0. And sequence counter is equal to N. N is the number of bits in the multiplier. Q is multiplier. How many bits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So sequence counter value is equal to 5. What is the first step? Check the value of Qn. That is the last bit of Q. It is 1. The last bit of Q, it is 1. Whenever Qn equal to 1, add the content of B to A. What is B? 10311. So, to this A, add 10311. Then you will get what? 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 0. So, you got 10311. Next, what you have to do? Shift right on EAQ. What is your E? 0. This is your updated E value. The updated E is 10311. Previously, it is all zeros and Q is 10011. Perform shift right operation. What is the shift right operation? 1 bit is to be moved towards the right side. When you are moving the bits to the right side, you will get 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0 and 1. Whenever you perform a shift right operation, this LSB bit is neglected or it will be discarded and this serial input of 0 is transferred through the MSB bit. Clear? Do you remember this shift micro operation? You have arithmetic shift, circular shift, and logical shift mic. Here we are performing shift right means logical shift we are performing. Logical shift means what? The bits will be moved to the right side if it is a shift right operation. Whenever it is right shift, the LSB bit is discarded, and in the MSB position, you will write a serial input as 0. Now it is 0, this one. Again, what you need to do? Decrement the sequence counter. Once the shift to right operation is performed, decrement the sequence counter. Now the SB becomes 4. Check the value of SC, whether if 0 or not. As it is 4 not equal to 0, so continue the same process. Check the value of Qn. What is Qn here? Here your Qn is 1. So whenever Qn is 1, just add the content of B to A. Your A is 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. Add the content of B. What is your B? 1, 0, 1, 1. 1, 0, 1, 1 is to be added. Perform the addition operation. You know what is the addition operation? 1 plus 1 is, the result is 0, gives a carry of 1. 1 plus 0, the result is 1. 0 plus 1, the result is 1, no carry. 0 plus 0, the result is 0, and there is no carry. Like that, perform the addition operation. Once the addition is done, what you have to do? Perform shift right on EAQ. What is your E? E is 1, and after performing this what we call addition operation, you got 000 10 and 111 What you have to do? Again perform the shift to right operation. Perform shift to right operation. When you perform the shift to right operation, just move the contents towards the right side and check the decrement the sequence counter. Now it is 0. Now it is 3. If it is not equal to 0, continue the same process. Again, check the value of Qn. Here the value of Qn is 0. Whenever Qn is 0, directly perform shift right operation. Directly perform shift. There is no addition operation. So directly perform shift right operation and decrement the sequence counter. Now sequence counter is 2. Again, repeat the same process. Check the value of Qn. As it is 0. So what you need to do? Again, perform shift right operation. Then you will get this. Decrement the sequence counter as it is 1. So continue the process. Check the value of Qn. It is 1. So whenever it is 1, add the content of B to A. B is 10311. Add it to A. You will get this. And perform shift right on EAQ. EAQ. Just move the bits towards the right side. One bit is to be moved towards the right side. Decrement the sequence counter. Whenever you decrement the sequence counter value becomes 0. Whenever it is 0, you can stop the procedure. The final result is stored in AQ. Whatever is there in A and Q is the resultant value. That is multiplication of 10111 and 10011 is equal to 01101 10101. When you see this, what is the result? 10311 into 10011. When you multiply these two, what you got? 11011 0101. You got the same here. Clear? So this is the way to perform multiplication operation on signed magnitude data. Is it clear? Anyone having doubts? Anyone is having doubts? Shall we start the quiz? Tomorrow we'll see Booth's multiplication algorithm, which is most important, ma. That is multiplication on 2's complement data, and we'll finish off division algorithms too. Mostly by Saturday, we can finish this computer arithmetic topics. So that for CSC students, 2 units will be completed. Shall I stop, ma? 5 1 a 0. How is 1 in second step? Why is 1 means here whenever you perform this addition operation, ma, you just see this addition, ma. 1 plus 1 is what? 0. The result is 0 and it gives a carry of 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1. The result is 1, a carry of 1. 1 plus 0 plus 1. Result is 0, carry of 1. 1 plus 1 plus 0. Result 0, carry of 1. 1 plus 0 plus 1. Result is 0, carry of 1. That carry you have written in E, because E is the one which holds the carry bit. Is it clear? 5A0, I think. Okay. Okay, ma. Okay, I'm ending my session today. We'll start this. I'll start the quiz now. Thank you.